Hey guys, we are starting our algebra unit and we are actually starting with writing algebraic expressions. So let's take a look at our packet. Here we have a slug and he's saying, I'm going to take a number and double it. It could have been any number, so what we're going to do is look at the bar and the bar is going to be the number, okay? So when we double it, what happens? We have two bars, because double in math means two of something, correct guys? Okay. And then we're going to name that bar X. So if we double X, what do we have? We end up having two X's, all right? So now if we let X be the number, which represents the bar, and when we double it, what would the expression be called? It would be called 2X. In algebra, we use letters of the alphabet to stand for unknown quantities that can take on different values. These letters are called what? And you probably learned that actually in 5th grade. And that word starts with a V and it is called what? Variables. Very good. Variables. Okay. So again, 2x means 2 bars, which is 2 x's, and we don't know exactly what the value of that is. If this is x, this bar, what does the shaded part stand for? So we have a bar and it's broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So that means one shaded part is going to have a value of what? All right, very good. 1/4 of x. My pen's not working. 1/4, but it's 1/4 of what? 1/4 of x. So notice that I said 1/4 of x, but I wrote it as 1/4 with x next to it. That means the same thing as saying 1/4 times x. But we don't know what x is, so it's kind of irrelevant. But I'm just showing you a couple different ways to write this. Okay. So 1/4 x. So imagine, how would 5/4 of x look? So this is a little off based on this bar, but why don't we go ahead and take our pen and let's move it up some. I'm going to move this up actually. So we have, let's do one whole bar. And we're going to break that bar into fourths. So how many lines will we draw to be in fourths? 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. That would give us 4/4, right? But we need 5/4. So we need one more fourth. But I'm going to denote one whole x as 4/4 x. Okay? And then we need one more part, one more piece, and that's going to be 5/4. So that's 4/4 x plus 1/4 x. And that totals what? 5/4 x. So this total, and look at that, we're actually adding expressions with rational coefficients. That wasn't too hard, was it? So that would be 4/4 x plus 1/4 of x is 5/4 x. All right, let's turn the page. Okay. On the next page, the slug says, I'm going to take a number and halve it. I'm going to halve the number. And this packet was actually written by a gentleman out of Japan. And I was sharing with the rest of our team that today American students have to compete with students all over the world, and students all over the world are learning math. So kids in Japan, kids in India, kids in Africa, are all learning the same math that you're learning. So he says halve it, and half of it means take half of it. So again, x can be the number, and we have the bar. And so if we halve it, and he means to take half, that means we cut it in half. And what's our denominator going to be when we take a half of something? Yeah, good, 2. Okay, so let x be the number. If we have it, we're going to take 1/2 of x. And so there's 2 parts, okay? Our denominator tells us the number of pieces. So we're going to have 1/2 of x. So this shaded part means 1/2 of x, okay? All right, let's keep going. Now what you're going to do is you're going to stop and you're going to fill in these lines what the value of each of these bars is. So I'm not going to do that for you. You're going to do that and you're going to show it to me. If this, of course, if this video is for all of my absent students or people who have missed the lesson. So you're going to do that part and then you will show that to me. Okay. Let's go to the next page, and the frog says, let's practice. I think he meant practice, but okay. So the bar stands for x, and it says write an algebraic expression that each shaded part stands for. Okay, so you're going to do this yourself, and I'll do the first one. There's 2 bars, so that's just 2x. Okay. But let's jump down to number 7. So we have several different parts. So in order to determine what fraction of x it is, we first have to identify how much 1 bar is. So I'm going to go from the bar above that, that's a whole. And this shows me that 1x is actually 1, 2, 3. It's in 3 parts. So that is 3/3 x, right? So that's 3/3 of x. Plus we have 1 more, and I apologize, that's a bit sloppy. And I'm going to write it on the side just so that you don't get confused. So we have 1 whole that's broken into 3 parts, so that's 3/3 x. Plus we have 1 more, okay? So that's going to give us a total of 4/3 of x. So this bar is going to be, these 4 bars will be 4/3 x. Each of these has a different value in terms of the denominator, the fractional part, okay? We're going to jump down for drawing our models, and I'm going to help you with number 3 first. It says y over 3. So I want you to write down y over 3, and how many y's is y? Well, that's 1 y. So now let's write it as 1y over 3. We can then break that out as 1/3 of y times 3, okay? So that's just a different way of writing 1/3 y, okay? So why don't we do that? Why don't we do 1/3 y? So here's 1 bar, and we need to break it into how many pieces for a whole? So 1 whole is 3/3, so we're going to draw 2 lines. 3/3. But this says 1/3 of y. So we're going to actually shade just one of them. And that's 1/3 of y. So go ahead and finish 1 through 6 at the bottom. Let's practice 2. Okay. Uno, dos, anda. Okay. Spanish, French. All right. So you're going to finish this, and then that's it for today's lesson. We actually had a crossword puzzle for homework with other algebraic expressions. You can stop by and get that. And I will talk to you later. Thanks for your attention. I will see you in class.